Hi there. I don't like to make this kind of video, but I just want to talk about the current messy nature of the CE custom browser. I think it jumps out to me more because I've been taking mini month breaks at a time, coming back for just a day, 2 days, 3 days, and then dropping it again. But a lot of stuff has gotten bad and it's compounding, and the player base seems to really be shrinking. We went from regular nights with 100 plus people and a list full of servers here to having a struggle to get 2 to 3 to fill up. So, I mean, the first thing I want to discuss is questionable servers and server settings. Infinite grenades, max tanks, all maps, jamming 16 people into prisoner and derelict, grenade spam, tank camping spam. That server is untenable on a lot of maps because of those settings, and also instant respawn on top of that. So, you manage to kill someone tank camping or grenade spamming, and they're going to be back on you before you could possibly get a flag out. This server tends to be a little better, but it has a host that is constantly AFK. That's another problem that's really grown. For a long time there, we used to pass around host to other regulars who were reliable, who you knew wouldn't go crazy with it. And that was great because if people were AFK for long periods or trolling or spending all their time writing mess in chat instead of playing, you could just open that spot, flow in another new person, keep the game moving. Now people make their servers usually early in the day and they go AFK with host for 6, 8, 12 plus hours. And there's no way to rectify AFK is stacking up or people messing around or whatever. And it's just gotten real bad. I mean, a lot of times you'll hop into a game and you'll be missing, a third, half your team will just be dead weight sitting at home. It's not great. In addition, this guy never fixed his like the suicide timer. Essentially, I could leave my vehicle and make sure that vehicle connects with an enemy, and they will have a 15-20 second respawn. It's very malicious. Thankfully, most players don't understand how that works. And it also has no maps. Usually runs a cycle of 3. Now, I won't fault anyone for leaving out Infinity and a few others maybe, but I think not having Timberland, Death Island, some of the other great maps is a big mistake. Variety is important. And then we also have weird servers now that are running stuff like Blood Gulch only, infinite time limit, and you spawn in with just a shotgun and I think a random second. But the problem with that is Blood Gulch is easily controlled by snipers and pistols. So sharp players are just going to grab the pistol and be able to, hurt people with them having little to no recourse. Because only one player per team is going to get that pistol and, until it respawns. So it's just not an ideal system. In addition, I've noticed that I feel like a lot of the players that kind of had a similar play style to me, like focused on getting the flag out, having fun with their driving and their movement, a lot of them have dipped out seemingly permanently. And this has created way more stagnant matches where a lot of the people who've hung around long term are very into killing, staying in one place, farming, being very focused on their kill death ratio. And I've just noticed that the matches are a lot more stagnant.
Capture the flag.
And I also worry about that driving away new players because I'm seeing a lot of that kind of kill farming focus and sniping and doing other things I would say are questionable, hiding in the glitchy rocks and farming kills off the teleporter. Stuff that I think if you're, let's say, a new player popped in today, if they see that kind of thing, they're probably going to want to bounce off this game at the speed of light. It's very unappealing. I mean, let's say you're completely new, or maybe you haven't played in 10 years, and you're rusty, and you come into people just kind of running the most obnoxious defense camps possible that are borderline impossible for a accomplished flag grabber to get out. Are there, hiding inside glitchy rocks and cheesing the game to an unholy, really unsportsmanlike degree. You're going to bounce off of it very quick, and that is going to make sure that we never get new players, and the servers can't really replenish their numbers like they used to back in our little golden era. I'm probably going to continue my cycle of dipping out for months at a time, get my fix for 2, 3, 4 days, and then doing that on a loop. I feel so burned out. I really miss having fun people like Morticia and Brandon and folks that, whether I was with them or against them, I knew we would have some really amazing back and forth, chasing each other as the flag carriers, doing crazy driving stunts, last-minute saves, last-minute flag returns. There was a real intensity to those matches that I'll cherish for a long time. As someone who's been playing this, in multiplayer form with other humans since the Gearbox release on original PC, some of the best matches I ever had, and some of the best people I ever played with. I do want to put one other thing at, the 343 Halo Studios' feet. Part of the reason this game has had such a population decline is the funky nature of custom game browser, the servers having a 24-hour time limit, the way that people decided that going AFK as host was better because, while I do believe that the benefits outweighed the negatives in passing it around, occasionally, obviously, someone would forget to pass it, or they would, have their internet die, have a computer crash, and they would exit, and it would random switch to another person who could then ban people they don't like, ban the whole server and kill it. All kinds of, chicanery. That was unfortunate, and that's because of their, this game has less functionality than that Gearbox port from 22 years ago, which is so unacceptable. It's also a shame that they never figured out how to let people use the workshop maps in normal custom browser. To me, you either make it where PC players can make PC-only servers and use the workshop content, because there are so many of the great classic custom edition maps that have been ported to this game in that workshop, and it should be as easy as clicking that button and being able to play other people. But the reality is you have to have a server on the anti-cheat free version where you have to have the friends list and the coordinate inviting everybody, and it's a giant hassle unless you're the kind of person that is hooked into some Discord group that has set up meets for that regularly. It should be easy. Part of the reason the old PC version lasted 15, 20 years was because of the simplicity of using that stuff and setting it up and being able to just hop in with other randos. They also probably should have figured out a way to do like Bethesda did with Skyrim and Fallout 4, and you curate some map mods, basic mods that won't mess with the people's consoles, and you have like a little section for the console players could also download and use those maps. That would have increased the population size and the life cycle of this game dramatically, instead of it being in its death throes. I guess that about wraps it up. And sorry for the ums and the you-knows. I'm not great at talking to nebulous nobody, but I've been wanting to say that for a while. The longer I stay away from this and the less I play, the more these issues have been jumping out to me. And every time I come back, it seems like more regulars are gone. So it's just really unfortunate. And like I said, I will cherish the good times. We had a couple of good years there after Custom Browser released, and I genuinely had a lot of fun. But it's not going well. And that's unfortunate. Thank you for listening to me ramble.